What I want to do with you today is to bring back whatever energy you've left scattered around. Scattered energy is just a regular part of life. I mean, let's say life is an adventure. That means you're always doing things, trying new things, going places where things are going to surprise you. You don't know what to expect. You'll be improvising a fair amount of the time, winging it. Or if you're holding back in life, the same fears that are making you hold back will make you rethink what you're doing again and again. So either way, it's inevitable that at some point you put some energy out in one direction and then you go off in another direction and you're leaving some of your energy behind. It's still your energy, and so the idea is you can bring it back to yourself anytime you want, because it's yours. And this ritual that I'm going to present is a way to focus on getting that done. I'll be tapping into the ritual power of post-it notes, and you're welcome to follow along if you have your own post-it notes, or if you just want to put scraps of paper on a tabletop, you can end up doing the same thing. I'll be putting the post-it notes together to form what I call an energy board, and that just means bringing the energy back to its owner. This is the kind of ritual that traditionally would be done on the full moon, but I want to suggest you can do it any time you'd like, and it might be good to do it the day before the night of the full moon, or even a couple of days before the full moon. Just if you want to maximize the energy for whatever it is you're doing on the full moon. You collect your scattered energy, and then you'll have more energy for whatever lies ahead. If you want to create your own energy board, you'll need some post-it notes. The smaller ones work a little better, I think. And you'll need a pen, and you'll want to have something that can serve as a board. And this can be a board, the lid of a saucepan. A clipboard works well. It could just be a sheet of paper. I will be using this hand-painted frame drum as my board. It's important to focus on your own energy for this exercise. It's your own personal energy that you're most interested in. That's the energy that you can collect if it's scattered. You can't really do this on behalf of a group or on behalf of another person. And so what I'll be doing here is presenting this ritual in a generic kind of way, so that you can follow along and project your intentions onto the board that I'm creating if you want. But if you're writing your own post-it notes and putting them on your own board, you want to make them personal to you. So if you want to create your own board, now is the time to pause the playback and go grab post-it notes and a pen and some kind of board. Guides, spirits, angels, please join us and assist us in collecting whatever energy we may have scattered, wherever we may have scattered. So we're going to start by focusing on our energy. So take a deep breath and think of your body as being more than just a material body, but also an energy body. And your energy body is larger than your material body, but not too much larger. It'll extend about as far as your arms will extend, let's say, your arms and legs around your body. And even if you happen to know that your energy body isn't as expansive as that, for the purposes of this exercise, imagine that your energy body is this sort of idealized shape where it's the full size of your body and extending about as far as your legs or arms will extend in any direction. So focus on your energy body and then think about all the places where you might have left energy behind in your recent past, or maybe your more distant past. So these might be projects that you worked on that you put a lot of energy into, or maybe you had conversations, arguments with people that didn't end well, or you helped people with things, or you put something of yourself into something that you did. These are all situations where you might have left some energy behind. And you can generally trust your intuition and figure out what these places, situations, activities were likely to have been. And then, for each one that you think of, just simply write down a word or two on one of the post-it notes, just to identify that place or that situation or that person that you were dealing with where you might have left some energy behind. Now I'm going to write some notes on the post-it notes that I have here. Pause the playback and see if you can write about 30 post-its describing the places, situations, and people that you might have dealt with where you might have left some energy behind. When you're all done, you should have a sort of a heap of post-it notes scattered, or maybe it's a nice neat stack. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is you have a bunch of post-it notes and they've got these things written on them, maybe the names of people who you dealt with, or the names of the places that you were at when things went wrong, and you think you might have left some energy behind. Maybe these are the situations where you felt like you were lucky to get away, and you weren't so worried about exactly what you were leaving behind you as you left. Or maybe these were just the things you worked very hard on, and when it was done, you were just saying, well, I'm so glad it's done, and you weren't thinking about exactly what might be needed to take care of yourself in that moment. So you'll have this stack of post-it notes, and then all it's needed then is to really project onto them this idea that you have, you've represented sort of the universe that you've been in where your energy is scattered around. And now we're just going to collect them. And that's very simple. You take your board, and I will take my drum here, nice hand-painted drum, and just put one note right in the center or near the center. And put other notes around it in whatever way seems appropriate to you, so that they eventually form a shape. And as you're doing this, think of your intention as being to collect your energy so that it's all in one place. And think of the board as a space where your energy is under your own control. It's back with you where it belongs. So here's my drum with all the post-it notes that I wrote. And to finish up, if you've got some more post-it notes, put a few blank post-it notes over the top. And these just simply represent the other places that you don't remember, you didn't think of, where you also might have scattered some of your energy or left it behind. So here I'm just putting in several blank post-it notes on top of all the post-it notes I have here already for all of the places where the scattered energy might have been left, the places I can't think of, places I didn't stop to consider, but where some of the energy might have been left behind. So when you get to this stage, just look at the board that you have. This is your energy board. It represents the idea that you've brought your energy back together. So think of this as your energy, and notice that it, in all likelihood, it forms a shape that's kind of like a circle. In fact, you could think of it as resembling the full moon. And it's so appropriate that we do this kind of thing on the full moon. It's like the full circle of light illuminating you. And then just imagine this energy coming off the board and going toward the center of your energy body, which will be somewhere near your heart or the center of your body, whatever place feels right for you, and then expanding out so that it covers your entire energy body, the way you were imagining it as we started out. So you've just taken your energy that was scattered wherever it was, anywhere in your world, and brought it back to yourself. So now take a moment to celebrate the energy that you've just collected and imagine what you might do with it. So how long should you keep your energy board? I would suggest, if you're doing this around the full moon, to keep it at least until you do the rest of your full moon things. But you don't want to keep it very long. You don't want the energy to get stale. So what I will be doing as soon as the full moon is over is taking the notes off of my board and returning them to the earth by way of my compost heap. And you'll want to do something to take the energy board apart and return the notes to the earth in some fashion. Thank you for joining me for this full moon energy board ritual. Good luck with whatever you decide to do with the energy that you've just collected.